Through the mists of history, certain names emerge that spark fear, fascination, and endless speculation. Among them stands one of the most enduring enigmas, Baphomet, a figure often depicted with the head of a goat, the body of a human, wings upon its back, and a host of cryptic symbols woven into its form. To some, Baphomet is nothing more than a medieval fabrication, a weapon of accusation forged against the Knights Templar. To others, it is a profound emblem of hidden wisdom, of balance, of the eternal interplay between light and darkness. But what is the truth behind this mysterious name? Is Baphomet an ancient god? A devil conjured by fear? A misunderstood symbol of knowledge? Or a modern cultural icon redefined through time? Welcome to Epic Relics, where forgotten myths, forbidden symbols, and hidden histories rise again from the shadows. Today, we will journey deep into the tale of Baphomet, from the fires of the Inquisition to the controversies of our own age.
The earliest traces of the name Baphomet can be found as far back as the 11th century, during the tumultuous period of the Crusades. Many scholars believe that Baphomet was a corruption of the word Muhammad, the medieval European rendering of the Prophet Muhammad's name. For crusading knights and chroniclers, the term carried connotations of the foreign faith they were fighting against. Thus, Baphomet began as a linguistic distortion, a word of fear and unfamiliarity. Yet, by the 14th century, the name had shifted in meaning. It was no longer simply a reference to Islam, but began to emerge in the context of secret worship and forbidden rites. The infamous trials of the Knights Templar placed Baphomet at the center of heresy. What began as a word rooted in cultural misunderstanding was slowly transformed into the name of an alleged idol. This is Epic Relics, guiding you deeper into the corridors of forgotten history. On October 13, 1307, King Philip IV of France struck against the powerful order of the Knights Templar. With the backing of Pope Clement V, hundreds of knights were arrested. Under torture, accusations spilled forth. The Templars were said to deny Christ, spit upon the cross, and worship a mysterious head known as Baphomet. Some confessions describe this head as human, others as animalistic. To their accusers, it was a demonic idol, a sign of corruption and apostasy. But historians remain divided. Were these confessions truth, or the desperate words of men broken under pain? Some theories suggest that the Templars may have venerated a sacred relic, perhaps the severed head of John the Baptist, or an esoteric representation of divine wisdom. Whatever the reality, the accusation of Baphomet became the rallying cry for the destruction of the Templars. The surviving inquisitorial documents paint a fragmented and inconsistent picture of Baphomet. One testimony speaks of a carved head, another of a three-faced idol, while others describe nothing more than a skull. This inconsistency suggests a fabrication, a narrative crafted under the duress of interrogation. But the ambiguity itself was powerful. Baphomet became less of a concrete idol and more of a symbol, a vessel for fears of heresy, secrecy, and forbidden knowledge. At Epic Relics, we ask, was Baphomet ever real, or was it only ever a phantom born of fear? Though the Templars were dissolved, the shadow of Baphomet did not fade. Over the centuries, the name resurfaced in whispered rumors, in occult writings, and in the imaginations of alchemists and mystics. No longer tethered to the Templars, Baphomet began to take on new meanings. For esoteric traditions, it became a symbol of hidden wisdom, a guardian of mysteries that transcended orthodox religion. In alchemical lore, Baphomet came to represent the union of opposites, the reconciliation of spirit and matter, of male and female, of the celestial and the terrestrial. Here, Baphomet ceased to be merely an accusation of heresy. Instead, it emerged as a profound archetype, a figure embodying balance, transformation, and the eternal search for enlightenment.
In the 19th century, the French occultist Eliphas Lévy gave Baphomet the form that still defines it today. His famous illustration depicted a winged, goat-headed figure, seated with one arm raised and the other lowered, symbolizing the Hermetic axiom, as above, so below. The figure bore the pentagram upon its brow, a torch of illumination between its horns, and the caduceus of Hermes at its abdomen, symbolizing the reconciliation of duality. Lévy's Baphomet was not a devil in the Christian sense, but a mystical emblem of universal balance and hidden knowledge. This singular image transformed Baphomet forever. What had once been a weapon of accusation became an enduring icon of esoteric philosophy and occult thought. This is an excerpt from the documentary Epic Relics, the voice that carries forgotten myths into the present.
A new chapter unfolded in the 20th century. In 1966, Anton LaVey founded the Church of Satan, and with it, Baphomet assumed a new role. The official sigil of the church, an inverted pentagram with a goat's head within, was declared the sigil of Baphomet. For modern Satanists, Baphomet was not a literal deity, but a symbol of rebellion against dogma, of self-determination, and of the embrace of human instincts. It represented the courage to question, the will to reject imposed morality, and the acknowledgement that darkness is as much a part of existence as light. In this form, Baphomet became both feared and celebrated, a lightning rod for controversy and a banner of liberation.
In recent decades, Baphomet has remained a potent and divisive symbol. The Satanic Temple famously erected statues of Baphomet in the United States, sparking outrage and legal battles over religious freedom. For some, the goat-headed figure remains the ultimate blasphemy. For others, it is a satirical weapon wielded against hypocrisy and authoritarianism. Meanwhile, Baphomet has seeped into popular culture in music, literature, film, and art. Heavy metal bands adopt its imagery, comic books and movies reinterpret its symbolism, and street artists reimagine it as a statement of defiance. In these forms, Baphomet has transcended its medieval roots, becoming a cultural mirror, reflecting humanity's fears, desires, and fascination with the forbidden. Epic Relics reminds you, symbols survive because they speak to something eternal within us.
Beyond controversy, Baphomet endures as a philosophical symbol. Every element of its form conveys meaning: the goat's head, representing instinct and primal nature; the human body, embodying rational thought; the androgynous features, symbolizing the union of masculine and feminine; the wings, the spirit; and the hand gestures, the eternal connection between the heavens and the earth. Baphomet teaches not the worship of darkness, but the necessity of balance. It embodies the principle that to know light, one must acknowledge shadow. To understand the divine, one must first accept the material. It is a call to wholeness, a reminder that within every human being lies a dual nature, and wisdom comes not from denial, but from reconciliation. From the dungeons of the Inquisition to the halls of modern art galleries, from whispered accusations to public monuments, Baphomet has traveled across time as a figure both feared and revered. It has been used as a weapon of condemnation, adopted as a symbol of liberation, and transformed into a cultural icon. But perhaps the true power of Baphomet lies not in what it is, but in what it represents. It is a reminder of humanity's eternal dance between faith and doubt, order and chaos, fear and wisdom. Does Baphomet truly exist? Or is it merely an echo of our imagination, a projection of our deepest uncertainties? The answer, perhaps, lies not in history, but within ourselves. This has been Epic Relics, where the past speaks, the symbols breathe, and history is never truly silent. Until we meet again.